And we are live. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to Forever Sports. It is a Wednesday afternoon, and a little over 24 hours' time, Rassie Erasmus will officially name his side to face England this weekend. England currently staring at 3 straight losses in a row. Steve Borthwick under a lot of pressure. The Boks, on the other hand, coming off a good victory against Scotland. It was maybe a little bit tighter than we might have liked. Maybe it wasn't the best performance we've seen from the Boks. But job done was the main thing, as we've been kind of saying throughout the week. So today what we're going to be doing, by the way, is we're going to be doing a sort of a fan-picked starting 15. And basically what happens is that we've got a new platform that we implemented this week. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to go and vote for basically build your team for the weekend. Now, I'll put the link in the description. So, unfortunately, it won't actually feed into what I'm doing now, for example, but just so that you can understand. And basically, what you can do is you can go and pick your team. We are working on a system where you'll be able to sort of, for example, download a photo of the team that you've picked, be able to share it with your mates and the likes of that. At the moment, you kind of have to basically screenshot it. But it's a work in progress, and we thought we'd share it in the current Genesis now because I want people to start getting involved and obviously getting feedback and the likes. So things like being able to pick the benches coming up as well. So we've got lots of things that we are currently working on. Now, basically, we've had 125 responses. So this team is picked by 125 different people who have all come in, voted on their starting 15. They've also provided the kind of the bench split that they want to see. And basically, what I'm going to do is while we do this, I'm going to build a team in the background and basically add the names, and then we'll try and build the bench together based on what we sort of decide on the split type of thing, So, I've currently got a team that is ready to be built, and then we'll decide on the bench based on the split between ourselves. So that's what we're going to be able to do as an interactive thing on the show today. The actual starting 15 has already been basically voted on because there's 125 people, or you guys have jumped on there and given your thoughts. And very interested to see how much we are quite aligned when it comes to building these teams. The similarities and the differences are quite interesting. With one player even get 100% of the votes for who should be starting in certain positions. Before we do that, please do smash the like on the video, by the way. Also, some big news that we're going to announce a little later is that the Forever Sports podcast will officially debut this weekend on Sunday, 7 o'clock. And very, very excited. It's a very cool episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and you're going to see the person on it a lot more on the channel. So make sure you tune in, and it's a very cool conversation and very, very cool deep dive into kind of the world of rugby that we don't always see and understand, and more sort of at some of the grassroots and lower levels than just, for example, the Springboks. But let's get into picking this team, shall we? So basically, as I said, as I mentioned, we did a poll, and as you can see there, 125 people have all sort of voted on their different players, and we gave them as options, for example, to vote on. And we're now basically going to be picking a team based on who received the most votes in every single position. So, number one, why wouldn't you pick Mr. Ox in Share? I mean, 92% of the votes. He got 4% Thomas Toy and 4% Helsinikov. They received 5 votes each, but 115 votes for, in my opinion, the best loose head in the world. And I wouldn't... if you were to pop in a World Player of the Year, I think you could look at him and be like, yeah, fair. I can't remember him having a bad game this year. Genuinely can't. He has been that solid. And hopefully we'll just continue to see the best out of him. Going into number 2. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting because Bongi Benami got 91% of the votes. Now, I don't think too many people are going to sort of sit there and say that Malcolm Marx is worse than Bongi Benami, for example. We are now starting to see there's fans that understand the impact of the bench and the fact that we go with this whole bomb squad vision and concept. So the fact that Bongi Benami got 91% of the votes was quite interesting because I have seen some comments on the channel basically saying that they would like to see Malcolm Marx starting and Bongi Benami coming off the bench and the likes. But then when it comes to actually building the teams, majority of people actually have gone with Bongi Benami in the number 2 position. So I'm going to throw him into that at the moment. Moving on to number 3. This one is a little bit more tightly contested. Still a pretty big winner in Thomas du Toit. But interesting that people want to see Wilco low. 23 people saying they'd love to see him start. I think we'll see him against Wales. Vincent Koch receiving the most votes. Ironically, I think if we were to vote for your top 2 tight heads, he'd come within the top 2, I'm sure. But I think very much a member of the bomb squad and hasn't really ever started for the Boks, to be honest. Has gotten a chance here and there, but has generally been that sort of bomb squad tight head type of person. And if it works, why not? You know, why? If it's not broken, don't fix it type of situation. So our front row is Oxenchair, Bongi Benambi, and Thomas du Toit. Thomas du Toit being the most tightly contested position so far. See, Daniel Dupont, for example, in the comments saying 1 Oxenchair, 2 Malcolm Marx. So he would be one of the 9 people that voted for Malcolm Marx to start. Right, let's go look at number 4. Now, this, as dominant as you probably expect, 98.4% saying Eben Etzebeth. Just one person saying that Archie Snyman should get a start, and just one person saying that John Klein should get a start. Eben Etzebeth is a starter at the end of the day. You know, he can come off the bomb squad and obviously add a lot of impact, but we get more out of him from a starter at the end of the day, and that is where I have no doubt he will continue to play. If you look at number 5, despite a bit of a slow game, or coming back from injury from over the weekend, Franco Mostert, come on, let's cooperate, does come in with the most votes, 76.8%. Interesting enough, Archie Snyman after that. A couple of people voting for Jean Claim, more plays at sort of the number 4 position. Generally plays the number 4 in the back more often, and him and Archie Snyman are often quite the combination off the bench. We might actually see that in the bomb squad in the next week or 2. But Franco Mostert still backed to start. If we move to the number 6 position, I mean, was there ever anyone in doubt? And Sia Khaleesi being backed. Now, people did back Mark of the start to get a start, although he has become quite heavily criticised for his performance over the weekend. A lot of people saying he wasn't quite at his best, and lots of calls, potentially Cameron Hanekom to get involved and the likes. So he got 3 votes there. And then the biggest and the easiest one to do was quite simply, my mouse will sort itself out, Peter Toy, 100% of the votes. Of course, he's going to start at 7. We all know this. I think it's, again, World Player of the Year nomination for me loading. I don't see how he doesn't get that World Player of the Year nomination. 100% of the votes out of 125, all saying that the GOAT 7 for South Africa, Peter Toy, has to start. This for me was always going to be an interesting one in terms of the 8th man, and we have got different options. And 79.2% saying Jasper Wiese, with the second base going Albert Low, who actually got more votes than Cameron Hanekom, which I thought was quite interesting. Kwagga Smith with 1 vote. I think everybody sort of is now going back to sort of the idea that Kwagga Smith should be used off the bench and the likes. But I find it quite interesting that more people were calling for Albert Low to start at 8 than to start with Cameron Hanekom. So at the moment, we've now got a team that looks like Oxenchair, Bongi Benambi, Thomas Toit, Eben Etzebeth, Sia Khaleesi, Peter du Toit, and Jasper Wiese in at 8. So that is our pack so far. I'll put the final graphic of what you guys choose in on the screen once we get there. We're kind of sort of building it up as we go. If we then go look at the backline, I think this is going to be quite an interesting one. So in the starting 9 position, this one was one of the closer ones. So we've got a majority for Kobus Reinach, who've got 69 out of the votes, 55%. Interesting enough, despite all the calls for Grant Williams, more people still backing Jaden Hendricks to start. Given the fact that he's on media duties, for example, I think Kobus Reinach is the favoured one to start. He was in the press conference yesterday, and that often does kind of indicate that he's going to be involved and often starting. So number 9, we have got Kobus Reinach, as picked by you, and then number 10, my people, and maybe it's because we're all quite aligned with this, but it's 75% people saying that they would like to see Manie Libbok start. Now, this becomes a bit of an interesting one, given the fact that we went with Kobus Reinach to start at 9, Manie Libbok at 10. It leaves us without a goal kicker if Manie Libbok has an off day. If Jaden Hendricks starts, for example, he provides a goal kicking option. But I still find this amazing that 72.8%, call it 73% of you guys said that you want to see Springbok start. I was very surprised at that call, to be honest. I like it. I'm a big fan of that call, but I was quite surprised at it. So we're going to put a Springbok in at 10. Now, when it comes to the wings, we're going to do centers first. So starting at 12, had a very good game this past weekend, and yet everyone just goes straight back to him. Damien Delindi, 123 over 125, one of the most dominant selections across you guys, with 98.4% of people backing Damien Delindi to come back into the side and keep that number 12 jersey. And again, that's something to say that, Andre Esterhuizen didn't play well over the last weekend. I thought he was very, very good, but David Delindi is just Mr. Reliable, isn't he? Never has bad games. He's been such a reliable operator for us for so long. Similarly, for example, we go with 13 with Jesse Creel getting 95.2% of the votes. So you also stormed that one. Kanyam getting a few, Kane Moody getting a couple as well. But that centre pairing of Damien Delindi and Jesse Creel, which is the most capped centre pairing of all time for the Boks. And arguably the best centre pairing of all time for the Boks. This is the thing. It's hard to always you always think about Jacques Fourie and Jean de Villiers, the combination, for example. And they're also iconic, especially when you were growing up and when you were younger and previous generations. But I think when these two step away from the game, we'll look back at this combination, especially during the World Cup last year, as one of the all-time great Springbok partnerships. If we then look at the wings, we have got 66.4% for Kurtley Arendse to wear the number 11 jersey. They're usually pretty interchangeable, to be honest, when it comes to Kurtley and Ches and Colby. So we're going to put Kurtley Arendse in that number 11 jersey. And in the number 14 jersey, we've then got Ches and Colby, who's gotten 72% of the votes. So those two are always going to be the dominant ones, aren't they? When it comes to the wings, it kind of just depends on which jersey they decide to wear on the day. Rusty Russ basically literally says that they kind of sort themselves up between the two of them. For me, this obviously was quite a big vote. Villy LaRue still getting quite a decent portion of 16 people backing him, but everyone's saying that they want to see Apple Fassi back on the side. And we can with Springbok, for example, because we've got that playmaker at fly half, that distributor who can bring other players to the game. We don't necessarily need Villy LaRue's creative abilities when you've got a Springbok on the pitch. So we've got Apolele Fassi, who's going to come in at 15. And then it gets quite interesting with regards to the bench split. So of all the different bench, we have predicted a 6-2. Almost 80% of people saying it is going to be a 6-2 split bench. So I'm going to download the team as it stands. And we're then going to basically build our bench. And then we'll put the bench on, and then basically that'll then create our full, fan-picked team, picked by you guys. So as it stands, this is the team we've currently got. There it is. Right, so as you can see, we've got to pick a bench. But in the front row, we've got Oxen Chair, Bongi Manambi, Thomas the Toy, and Eben Etzebeth. We've then got Franco Mostert, Sirklisi, Pierce Def the Toy, and Jasper Wiese completing that scrum. So a very solid pack. I think pretty similar to what we are going to see tomorrow. The backline's quite interesting. Kurs Reich partnering Mani Liebok. We've then got Kurtley Arendse, Chesland Colby, Apolele Fassi as the back three. And the centres, Damien Delindi and JC Creel. I think we're pretty close. I'll be interested to see what we predict, for example, now versus what we actually get to see tomorrow. Because I don't think we're going to be that far away, to be brutally honest. But now we've got to pick a bench, and we've got to pick a 6-2 split when it comes to the bench. So I think, players I'm immediately going to put inside is, a Malcolm Marx, who will be in number 2 position. And I'm going to put in Gerard Steelekamp as the loose head, because it's kind of always been the case. Why has Malcolm Marx left his surname behind? But what I want to put in the polls are the rest of the ones. So for this one over here, I'm asking you, who would our reserve tight head be? Your options are Vincent Koch and Volko Low. So get voted, people. Can't keep us on the screen for too long. I'm going to try and get through and actually have this team done by the end of the show. So we need to now vote on our reserve tight head. And then we're going to have an interesting one in terms of, do we want 2 locks, 2 flanks, or 1 lock, 3 flanks on the bench? So what we'll do is we'll vote for the split, 2 locks, 2 flanks, and then we'll vote for the players themselves. Alternatively, I suppose we can we? Yeah, I suppose we can actually probably just do the lock options on the bench as well as use forward options and see who we want to be in the number 19, 20 jersey, for example. Right, so we've got 11 votes, people. I'd like to get to about at least sort of 30 votes before we sort of close it out. So go and vote between Volkolo and Vincent Koch. At the moment, Vincent Koch's taken an early lead. So interested to see if anybody else there. I'm going to grab a bit of water. It's quite warm. Best thing I ever did in the studio was putting in the fridge. Fridge in your office is an absolute game changer. So you've got 16 votes, people. Please do keep voting. I want to try and get up to 30 votes. And I think at the moment we're looking at a pretty solid team. And I've got Evan Esbeth saying because he was captain last week, so he won't be the captain this week, by the way. So I must actually just change that. Maybe while we do that, I can change that. Captain will be Sia Khaleesi. And I can actually change the photo as well. Should we put Sia as the photo? It is his team after all. So while you guys vote for Volkolo and Vincent Koch, I'm just going to update our graphic over here. All right, there we go. Sia Khaleesi and a captain over there. All right, what are we saying, people? We've got 24 votes over here. I'll give it another few seconds, and then we'll close it off. Afikir Tokwe saying, if Volkolo doesn't start, he doesn't play. And Manifka saying, when is the team announcement? It is tomorrow. So we'll end the poll in a 3, 2, 1. 29 votes. Gives one 30 votes. No, back down to 26 votes. Well, it's stretching between 29 and 26. So YouTube's a bit drunk. So we'll end it there. And after 29 votes, Vincent Koch slides in there at tight head. So let's go and add him onto the team. And in the meantime, while I update the graphic, we're going to throw in a poll for who will wear the number 19 jersey. I'm going to put in Archie Snyman, and I'm going to put in Jean Klein as the 2 locks. And if you want the keys come back, there's no other lock option. Unless you somebody, no. Unless you PS Toy can go play there and stuff. But let's go with those 2. And now, if one of them whoever loses that, for example, obviously throw them back into the number 20 alongside the likes of Albert Lowe, Cameron Harnicorn, Quacker Smith type of situation. So while you guys do that, I'm going to update the graphic to include good old Vincent, who has been included in the side. I don't think this vote's going to take particularly long in terms of who's going to wear the number 19 jersey. And here we go. Right, there we go. No, hang on. Why have I got the wrong... Ah, that's why. Right, so Vincent Koch is currently in over there. In terms of our number 19 jersey, it was pretty easy, apparently. At the end of the day, 96% of the votes. We'll close the voting already. And Archie Snyman is going into our bomb squad. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because this is where it comes to the old 2 locks versus, and 1 flank, or 1 lock and 2 flanks. So we're going to go with who wears the number 20 jersey. And your options are Jean Klein, if you want to go 2 locks. Cameron, let's go with Albert Lowe. Or And Marco van Staden, I'll leave. And Cameron Hanekom, I'll leave Quacker Smith for the next vote, because that's usually where he plays in there. And Cameron Hanekom. Right, there we go. Those are your options for the number 20 jersey. This is where it starts getting a little bit interesting. Traditionally, we've seen Ulrich Lowe playing in the number 20 jersey during the Rugby Championship, with Quacker Smith coming on 21. So this, for me, is going to be an interesting vote. Now, what I thought was quite interesting is the fact that Ulrich Lowe got so many votes in getting more votes than Cameron Hanekom to actually start at 8. So this is going quite interestingly. We've got 23 votes. More people have started getting in this. Let's see if we can get this up to 40 votes, and we'll sort of close it off there at 40 as I wait to see. I mean, I think we're building a pretty good side here. And tomorrow when we do the team announcement, we will then compare the sides and see where we got things right, where we got things wrong. Look, it might go to 7-1 split. You could see Jean Klein, Arceus, Neyman, Albert Lowe, and Quacker Smith, for example. I'd be surprised if we see Cameron Hanekom this weekend. My gut says we'll see him against Wales, which would be quite funny given the fact that he was Welsh qualified and all those talks about him potentially going and playing for Wales. So we've got 35 votes, 36 votes. We're going to try to get to 40 votes, and we'll call it up there at 40 votes. So over 100 people watching, so make sure you get those votes in. 39 votes. We're going to call it after the next vote. Let's just wait for it to update. I'm sure someone has already cast it. If you've not voted, then make sure you go and vote on the poll. Once we see that 40 votes thing, we are going to close it. And there we do. We've got 40 votes. We're going to end the poll there. And with 40 votes, Albert Lowe is going into our bomb squad in the number 20 jersey. And then I'm going to ask who will wear the number 21, and your options are going to be Marco van Staden, Cameron Hanekom, as well as Quacker Smith, Mr. Bomb Squad himself. Right, there we go. Once again, we're going to try to get to 40 votes over there, and I will update the team list in the meantime. Alright, so welcome to the team, Outlaw and Arceus Name. I've got to update it for Arceus Name, and so those guys into the squad. So we only need to get the last 3 right. Or, well, we need to sort out the last 3, and then we're good to go. So at the moment, sitting with 28 votes. When we get to the votes at 40 votes, there does seem to be a clear winner already, as Quacker Smith takes a pretty resounding lead after 29 votes. But for the sake of getting as many people involved as possible, let's try and get to that 40 vote margin there. I said almost 150 people watching. Surely we can get to that 40 votes. And once we do, we'll then close it up, add them up, and then we'll decide who our reserve scrum off is. And they can then talk about then the final backline player will be quite an interesting one. Probably, Villarreal will be an option in the backline there. We could have Pollard, I suppose, as an option there. We could have Adekanya as an option in your number 23 jersey. Maybe Jordan Hendricks. So those will probably be my 4. Or Kane Moody, I suppose. Maybe Kane Moody ahead of Adekanya. Kanye kind of covers 12, 13, and 14, doesn't he? But Kane Moody does cover fullback as well. Although Chisholm Colby can cover fullback. So I must have to give it a bit of thought in terms of what we want in our number 23 jersey. 44 votes, and as Carl says, 21 is Quacker. They can already put his name on it. You are very, very right, sir. Right, the next poll is who is the number 21? Your reserve scrum off, basically, between Grant Williams and Jaden Hendrickson. You guys can keep voting there whilst I go and add Quacker to the side. Right, so we've got Clark Smith now. We've got a vote on our reserve scrum off. Got 33 votes here to 40. That looks like it's going to be pretty one-sided. I'm already going to actually start putting his name in pencil, so to speak. $35 votes. Let's get to that 40. Regular says, I'm surprised people didn't vote for Grant to start. Reinach is past it. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because, yeah, so many people in the comments section over the last weekend were calling for Grant Williams to start, and everybody asking where's Grant Williams, why is he starting, the likes of that. But then when we actually throw out the link and say, right, well, build your own team. If you don't like the team that Rassie Erasmus says, go and build your own team. Go and see how you're going to change it. And then they go and vote, and then the general public seems to decide that this is the way to go. And I said, this is not my team, by the way. This is from 125 people of you guys who have voted on this and kind of built the team you guys sell. So this is very much a fan-picked team. So hopefully you can't accuse me of any bias, for example, because I have actually had no say in this team whatsoever. But Grant Williams wins that poll, which means the final thing is a number 23 jersey. Who will wear number 23? Now, Villiers has worn it before, so I'm going to throw him in there. I'm going to throw in Andre Pollard as your emergency sort of kicking option, fly-half option. I'll throw in Jordan Hendrickson actually as a utility player as well. And then I'm trying to think, it's probably between Lekanya and Caden Moody with regards to versatility in terms of who you can have on the bench. Let me go with Lekanya. I think that's more likely. Can cover 12, 13. I think we all kind of know that if this is the case, we kind of all know it's going to be on the bench. But we've got to put it out for you guys and see what you think. So once again, 40 votes will be the magic number. Being asking, why is Hendricks preferred by Rassie over Grant? It's infuriating. The team announced tomorrow, I think it's about 4 o'clock at this stage. We haven't had any word of if it's going to change, but it should be around then. We will have the live stream scheduled as soon as we have confirmation of the final time. But at this stage, it is supposed to be, I think it's actually supposed to be at 1 o'clock. Could be 1 o'clock, actually, to be honest. So we'll have to wait and exactly see when that final call will be tomorrow. I think Steve Borthwick is closer to later in the afternoon. So we've got 36 votes. Already got quite a clear winner. Interesting to see who's coming second over there. As I said, 40 is the magic number. So once we get to that 40 votes, we'll update the team. And then we'll put that on the screen and talk about. Yeah, we got more than 40 votes. We've got 51 votes. So we're going to call it over there. Right, we finally have our BOK team as selected by you. Let's throw that on the screen and see what we've got, shall we? Give me 2 seconds just to sort that out. Where are we at? We've done this a lot of times. Here we go. There we go. Right, our full 23 as chosen by the Fair Sports subscribers looks something like that. Right, let's go through it, shall we? So we have got in the front row, we have got Oxenchair, Bongi Bnami, Thomas the Toy. Second row is Evidence Smith and Franco Mostert. Sieg Lisi Pierce, the Toy, Jasper Wiese. You probably throw Francois Herbert back in there starting at 3, and that's our strongest pack, I think. Maybe if Rodeo comes back from fitness, you maybe might go ahead of Franco Mostert, but these days, I think that I don't think we get stronger than that pack, to be honest. I think that is our strongest starting pack if we are to go with the full bomb squad type of vibe. The backline for me is the interesting one. Once everybody's back to full fitness, do you have 5 de Klerk in at 9, for example? Is Moelie Bog up for... I mean, when he's back to full fitness, you're probably having Sasha potentially at 10. I don't think we're very far away from our strongest 15 there, to be honest. Sasha maybe an option, Andre Faf, for example, but he's kind of actually been left out. Frans Maher potentially coming back. And then we've got a 6-2 split there of Malcolm Marx, Gerard Stenenkamp, Vincent Koch, Arceus Neyman, Albert Cloak, Quacker Smith, Grant Williams, and Andre Poe. Quite similar to what we were seeing towards the latter stages of the Rugby Championship. So I don't think we're far from that. In terms of players who I'd love to see get involved in the next year, I'd love to see Edel van der Merwe involved. I think you put him in that team and I don't think it makes it weaker. I'd love to see obviously Sasha hopefully back involved. And there's a couple other players who once they're back in injury, could be involved in this side. But there we go, people. Well, thank you very much for joining. It's always fun to talk through these teams and sort of see what everybody else has to say and where we are different and where we are the same. As Louis van den Berg says, please do hit the like button on the video and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel as well. We'll post it on the community tab as well, and we'll share this on social media so we can see what everybody else has to say about your Springbok 23. We'll have the actual Springbok 23 this time tomorrow. So make sure you come and tune in tomorrow for that announcement. Before then, please do keep safe, keep well. Thank you very much.